Welcome back to another episode of World of Warships Legends. I am your ever so faithful commander, Random Stegosaur, and this is actually, okay, so for this video, this is actually a different type of video. Instead of a post-replay commentary of me smacking people's broadsides with my seriously big guns, or my division mate eating a face full of torpedoes, I thought of doing kind of I don't know how to call it. I don't want to say like podcasty type video, but okay, all right. I'm gonna describe it, and then you guys can tell me what words to use to describe this type of video. So it's just me talking just about hot topics and points with the game. This could be bugs that have gone unfixed for an extended duration of time. This could be the balancing of certain ship classes or ships within those classes and how it's compared to others. It could be, new updates that if they're good for the game, if they're bad for the game or gameplay, etc. So yeah, it's just me kind of picking topics and issues with the game, talking about them, giving my personal opinion, the opinions that I've noticed from the community, the Discord and Reddit, Facebook, etc. Not Twitter, because I'm not an 80-year-old man. That's who uses Twitter, right? Like celebrities and like 80-year-olds. I don't know. I don't use Twitter. But, yeah, so that's kind of the direction I wanted to go. I thought of turning this into a series. Now, with that being said, do take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I can only talk about things from my personal experiences with them and from the opinions that I see from others. So if there's a topic that I might explain poorly or have completely wrong, don't get angry, don't get upset. I might just not, I don't watch every, dev blog stream. I don't read every bullet point in the patch notes. So if I miss something or get something wrong or misinterpret something, feel free to correct me in the comments politely. I will I will add that in politely, please. But yeah, so for this first video, I thought of talking about the Bureau and some legendary tier talking points. So, first of all, the Bureau has been out for, about a year now, give or take? And it's gone through just about a dozen different Bureau projects. So the Bureau projects are different sets that you can research within the Bureau. I have made little effort to unlock all of those Bureau segments or Bureau projects. I just earned my first legendary ship, the Alaska, and I've finished a number of other smaller Bureau projects, like the Red, White, and Blue, and the 2020 anniversary, whatever, the 1 year anniversary, whatever it's called. I've finished like 3 or 4 projects. It is not my priority to finish these. I would rather play my tech tree ships, grind out the rest of those, make my way up to tier 7, and then maybe, start messing around with my legendary ships. But that's just me. There are those who play the game who, I suppose they're completionists or just bored. They've been playing the game longer than I have, and they've already have pretty much everything unlocked. So those people are the ones that make it their mission to do all of their Bureau missions every day, knock them all out every chance they get, and complete every bureau as soon as possible. Some even take it a step for. I don't actually know. Hold on, I'm gonna take that back. I don't know how many people usually skip bureau. Like, they jump. Is that what it's called? Like where you pay your doubloons or whatever to. I don't know. I don't know how many players do that, but there are players who are knocking out the bureau projects as fast or faster than Wargaming can test and implement a new bureau project into the game. So that causes players to get bored and complain that there aren't enough projects for them to complete, grind out, and new ships to play, etc. Wargaming rebutted by saying that the majority of players do not have enough bureaus to justify, or bureaus completed to justify the implementation of more projects. So the majority of the players, even if they're like, I'm doing the bare minimum. Like, I put my commander and my ships on there to boost it, and then that's it. I don't do the missions or anything. I'm doing the bare minimum, other than not doing the bureau. So most players are either A, like me, or B, they don't have premium time and can boost only one bureau at a time, because premium time allows you to boost or to work on two projects. So they're either A, like me, don't care, B, they don't have premium, so they can only do one project at a time, or C, they're mothers and fathers who have to take care of their kid, or they work full time and they only play on the weekends, or their internet sucks and they don't get to play a lot. Perfectly fine. That's chill. Whatever. I personally think there's enough projects from my standpoint. Again, that's just because I don't care about the bureau. I'll finish them when I finish them. I'm in no rush. So how do we go about... How do I say this? How do we go about... What's the word I'm looking for? It's where sufficing? No. Justify? No, I don't know. How do we go about that issue, though? To where we can... Should Wargaming just go ahead and add bureau projects to the game willy-nilly? Well, I mean, they have to test them, and they have to get community feedback to figure out what ships would be popular that players might want. Then they have to test them. Then they have to implement them into the game. Then they have to figure out the segments and stages, etc., etc. But the problem is there's a couple problems. A, Legendary tier is literally just tier 10 from PC. So console is tier 1 through tier 7, and all of the PC ships from tier 1 to tier 8 are compressed into 7 tiers. So instead of tier 8 on PC, Bismarck is tier 7, Iowa is tier 9, and PC it's tier 7 in console. So it goes even further than Bismarck, and then you can go even further. The Benham, which is a tier 9 torpedo boat destroyer in PC, is a tier 6 in console. So Wargaming has to figure out how to balance different ships and test them, and make them fun to play with and go against. But that takes time, and it takes even more time to get right. So how do you make playing the tier 10 Montana fun, fun going against, if you are in a tier 7 in console? tier 8 in PC. Admiral Hipper or how do you balance that and make that fun? Well, you have to nerf the armor of Montana, or you have to nerf the torpedo reload, or the concealment of Kleber, or the torpedo reload speed of Shimakaze, so that way you're not getting completely steamrolled in your Iowa when a division of Shimakazes pops up, and with their 5.2 kilometer stealth and 15 torpedoes each, sails straight through the middle of Two Brothers and saturates the entire point with torpedoes. So you have to make it fun and balanced and fair. So Wargaming tries to do that, but it takes them a while, and that is part of the reason why I think that Bureau projects take so long to come out. Also, they don't just want to spam all of them at one time. They want to trickle down content so that way it keeps us busy for a while, and then when people start wrapping that up, you trickle out a little more content, and then you wait, and then a little more. That's how it should be done. That's proper live service implementation right there. But other than making it balanced and fair, which sometimes they don't get wrong, again, when you're in something like, I don't know, a Vladivostok, and you're going up against a division of triple Shimakazes, it's not fun. Tier 7s tend to get absolutely steamrolled by legendary matchmaking. The other issue is there aren't enough cruisers in legendary tiers. You have an abundance of destroyers. You have the USS Gearing, the Kleber, the Shimakaze, the Khabrovsk. Is that all the destroyers? You have the Campbelltown. I mean, if you wanna throw that in, there's even more battleships. You have recently released Montana. You have Yamato, Grosser Kurfürst. You have the California, the Oklahoma. So the only cruisers you have are the Worcester and the Alaska. And with 12-inch guns, the Alaska's a battle cruiser. It's a lot tankier than a light or heavy cruiser. So effectively, you only have one cruiser, a light cruiser, until Minotaur is done being tested and released. You have one cruiser, Worcester. So imagine being a Worcester. Like, a Worcester against tier 7s would absolutely clean house. A Worcester versus a Yamato, a Grosser Kurfürst, and a Shimakaze or Alaska will get melted pretty much instantly if it so much as pokes out of an island. So there aren't enough cruisers to justify really playing cruisers in legendary ships, and that just incites the 5 battleships, 3 or 4 destroyers per matchmaking where there's one cruiser, and that just doesn't make for fun gameplay, because the gameplay gets really stale and all the lobbies are like that. Also, I think what would help, other than adding more cruisers, is making legendary tier its own tier. So instead of being a tier 7 that gets up tiered to legendary tiers, make legendary tier its own thing. Add more cruisers, and then make legendary tiers to the point where there are only legendary tier ships in that game. So Yamatos cannot fight Edinburghs. Shimakazes will not be going up against Vladivostok's. I think that would really help. The legendary tier situation. Also, bureau projects. I'm fine with it. I don't really think anything's wrong with it, but at the same time, I don't care about bureau projects. Like I said, I only have the Alaska and the California. Those are the only ones I've really completed, and I don't even play them. If I want a quick clear skies medal, I might bust out California every now and then, but other than that, it makes no difference to me. So that is my interpretation of my outsider's interpretation of the Bureau and Legendary tier gameplay. So if you have any thoughts or opinion on this, I would love to hear them in the comments below. If you have any topics I could talk about in future videos, I would also love to hear those as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, if you're still here, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.